Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Make Your Mind. This is the first of my God of War series sculpture showcases. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. As you can see, these were the very first sculptures I did. I did my versions of the Blades of Chaos for the preview videos, and I also did my version of the Leviathan Axe from God of War 4. At least it's called God of War 4. It's really called God of War, but it was the series that really got me into the God of War at first. But of course, the series in question is the sculpture, or the name of the series in question is the sculpture we're going to be getting into today. So ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce the Ghost of Sparta himself, Kratos. Check that out. Look at this badass. This is so cool. And here is my sculpture of the Ghost of Sparta. As you can see, I based him more or less on God of War 4. I based him more on the later versions of the Ghost of Sparta, or Kratos. Of course, for those of you who don't know, I mean, I got into it basically through God of War 4, which was the version where it started with the Norse mythology and the Norse gods, like Thor, Balder, Odin, Mimir, Jormungandr, Thamur, all of those different kinds of things. And that's how I got involved in, that's how I first learned about God of War, but then going back and seeing the games, and I've played some of God of War 4, and I played a lot of God of War 3. Man, that battle versus Kronos is one of the most epic boss battles of all time. But this is Kratos, the Ghost of Sparta. Of course, Kratos was not initially a god. Kratos was indeed immortal, but he was essentially a warlord for the Spartan nation, and a great general and a great leader. And when he was about to lose in battle, he called out to the god of war Ares to save him from his fate of losing in battle. And Ares gave him the Blades of Chaos. And the Blades of Chaos were two chained blades that essentially were wrapped permanently around his forearms. And he essentially afterwards, well, I mean, he basically became a killing machine for the most part. Went around conquering city after city, village after village, and then eventually he was tricked by the god of war, Ares, and he actually ended up killing his own family, his mother and daughter, in a fit of, I guess you could even say, blind rage. But a lot of people don't know why Kratos, in fact, has these red markings, because Kratos had a brother, and his brother actually had a birthmark that looks just like this. So in honor of his brother, Kratos had these markings tattooed onto his body in order to match the birthmarks of his brother. If you want to know his brother's name, I'm not going to give away too much lore about it, because, I mean, my goodness, who doesn't really know about Kratos? But man, oh man, seeing the God of War series come back, especially with the newer games with the Norse mythology and, you know, Kratos traveling around with his son Atreus, and and then his son's true name, but I'm not going to reveal that. No spoilers here. Gotta go check out the game. Go check out the game God of War. It is absolutely amazing. But of course, eventually, he goes from essentially annihilating all of the Greek gods. He flees and then enters into the Norse mythology, mainly because of his wife, who was in fact a frost giant. And I won't get into too many spoilers here, because once again, this could spoil into the new game coming up. But as you can see, I basically gave him basically a metal pauldron with a sort of sheath on the end. And of course, the Blades of Chaos and the Leviathan Axe are held right on his back, but he has the chains, which is basically what this like rust-colored string that I made here. Those are the chains that basically hold the blades together. And also gave him these cool pants that are a mix of, they're like brown and red mixed together with this belt buckle and this clasp here. And I tried to match his appearance, because a lot of people wonder, they're like, oh, why is he so pale white? And that's because after he basically blindly killed his family, he was cursed to wear the ashes of his dead family on his skin at all times. And that's why his skin is white, because it's covered in white ash. And his name, the Ghost of Sparta, actually that's what gave him the name. Of course, I gave him some cool boots here. This is more or less my own design. I don't think this isn't really based on any armor in the game. But and of course, he has these blood-soaked bandages covering his arms, which essentially cover the wounds from the blades of chaos from the chains when they used to be permanently caught, where they were permanently wrapped on his arms. He could never take them off, and he was basically doing the bidding of the god of war Ares, until eventually he took the mantle of the god of war himself and became a god himself. It's quite an amazing story with Kratos, but you just got to go check out the games. And of course, I got his beard right here. I'm not too good with human faces, so if it doesn't look exactly right, I do apologize. But this one was a very fun one to make. And boy, oh boy, with this new game coming up, God of War Ragnarok, it is going to be fun to visit some of the creatures from. Now, leave a comment down below if you want. Do you want me to visit any of the characters or creatures from the first 3 games, from God of War 1 through 3, or do you want me to stick with God of War 4? I kind of wanted to stick with 4 because we have the upcoming game Ragnarok, and of course we have him going against Thor, which that's going to be absolutely epic. I cannot imagine the Ghost of Sparta versus the God of Thunder. That's going to be one crazy boss battle, especially in the last game, when Kratos had to fight against the Valkyries. That was a crazy hard fight. And then, of course, you got Ragnarok, which means that Jormungandr, the World Serpent, is going to be fighting against the God of Thunder as well. So I could not imagine Kratos jumping into battle with Jormungandr fighting against the God of Thunder. That's probably going to happen in this upcoming game. Maybe I'm doing a little bit early predictions, but this is one of the funner sculptures that I've ever done. And yeah, this is the first of my God of War sculptures with the Ghost of Sparta himself, the God of War Kratos. So with that, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to leave a like down below, and remember to subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications, so you don't miss the next video. And there's a gnat flying around in here. So get out of here. Alright, so with that, thank you all so much for watching this video. I will see all of you on the next God of War Sculpture Showcase.